Hi friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome to 2025. You've probably already seen some videos from me that I filmed last month or 2 months ago because I decided to take a break for December. That's neither here nor there, but this is my first video filming, first video back, and I'm pretty excited for it. We're going to be talking about all of the things that I watched in December. So, like I said, in December I decided to take a break. I wasn't reading, wasn't gaming, and so I spent the whole month just watching TV, which is not the usual for me, but I had a fantastic time doing it, and I thought we could talk about everything that I watched. I also decided to start a Letterboxd and a serialized account. Well, accounts. Letterboxd is for movies, serialized is for TV shows. I'll leave them down below if you're interested. Serialized is amazing. You can review by episode, by season. You can look at like other people's reviews for every single episode. It's tons of fun, and that's part of the reason why I was so like incentivized to watch so much, because using the app and like seeing other people's reviews was just tons of fun. So I'll leave those down below. Feel free to follow me if you're interested, but let's just get right into what I watched. So first up, I don't think I watched any movies this month, any notable movies. I started to watch Smile 2, but I didn't even finish it. I watched the first one a while ago. It's really creepy, but it's not like crazy good. And this second one follows this pop star. She's a recovering addict, and she's on tour, and she's just struggling a little bit, and she has a run-in with someone who is smiling at her, and it goes downhill from there. The movie's like over 2 hours, which is just excessively long, in my opinion, for a movie like this. We were like an hour in, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. Possibly I'll go back and watch it and finish it out, but it just wasn't doing what I wanted it to do for me. So if you finished Smile 2 and it got better, let me know. Like I said, I got about an hour in, but it was just a lot more focused on like her pop career than on the scares, in my opinion. Other than that, I watched a ton of TV shows. So first up, I have been watching Fruits Basket. In December, I got through all of season 1 and 2. Now, I'm on season 3. Season 3 has like 13 or something episodes, and I'm just struggling to get through it a little bit. Was really into the first season. I was really excited by all of the characters that we were introduced to, and then I was ready to get into the second season and see how the story was going to progress, because the first season, again, wasn't really a ton of plot. We were just introduced to the world and the characters that we were going to be following, and then the second season was 24 more episodes of new characters and new storylines, and so we would get a progression of a plot, and then we would get 2 episodes of like someone's backstory, and everybody's backstory is just fucking terrible, and there's no happiness. And the point of the anime is like the main character influencing other people's lives and like coming into their life and making a huge change, and like what love and friendship and family can do to you when you're struggling and all of that. And the message is beautiful, but when you're watching 50 episodes that are just like a new character being introduced with a really sad backstory of abuse and self-harm and all of these terrible things, it's like, where's the hope? Where's the fun? Where's the like the levity to it? And there would be like a couple of episodes here and there that were like them at the beach, playing in the sand, doing fun stuff, but mostly it was not fun. I still need to watch the third season. I'm gonna blow through the remaining 13 episodes, but mostly, yeah. It's just really sad, and it's a lot to watch, like, all at once. So after I got through Fruits Basket, I decided that I wanted to take a break and watch something a little bit more fun and lively. So I started watching King of the Land. This is like a mini-series. It's a K-drama, and it's all centered around this one hotel that is run by the hero's family. He's come back to Korea to take over the hotel, and he's doing it under the guise of finding out what happened to his mom. She disappeared years ago, and he could never really get a straight answer from his family. So he thinks that because she worked at the hotel, he can dig into the history and what really happened to her. And then the female main character is a concierge at the hotel, and she's always loved the King Hotel, which is the name of the hotel, and she has fond memories of going there with her mom. I adored this. So I've only watched a couple of K-dramas, but my favorite was Business Proposal. I got recommended this because I love Business Proposal so much. This was delightful. There were so many times where I giggled and kicked my feet and was so in love with this story. I loved how obsessed and giddy the hero was for the heroine. He would text her, and then there would be montages of him waiting for her to text back and getting upset if she didn't, and just watching her when she was just experiencing life and just so enamored with her. It's my absolute favorite. I love when the guy falls first. It's one of my favorite tropes in romance, and it just was so heartwarming and lovely to see. And I have found with romance K-dramas, say the K-drama is 12 episodes. 10 of those episodes will be about the couple and them interacting and them falling in love, and then the last 2 will be about the plot. And that's kind of what happened with Business Proposal. There was this B-C plot that really took over in the last 2 episodes that just didn't really make a lot of sense, and I was very happy with the way that this one wrapped up. I loved how there was definitely still a focus on the romance all the way to the end, and the C plot was interspersed in the story enough that it was still there and it wasn't a blindside, and it wasn't wrapped up super quickly. I adored this. I think it's a great K-drama. It's a great K-drama if you're looking to get into K-dramas. And if you want a giggly fun time, I would recommend this one. And I would love some recommendations for other K-dramas that are similar to this one, that have similar feelings. Because I was just swooning and in love the entire time. And I just wanted everybody in my life to watch it so that I could gush about it. And so after that, I still wanted a giggly fun time. Something that wasn't too high stakes or too emotional, because I was going through a depressive episode, and also Fruits Basket was just ruining everything for me. I also got recommended XO Kitty. This is set in Korea. It's in English, and it follows a girl. It's in the same universe as The Summer I Turned Pretty. I have kind of watched those movies by association of just watching a bunch of reactions to it on YouTube, but I haven't actually seen the movies myself. But this follows Laura Jean's sister, and she is in high school. She gets accepted to a high school in Korea that her mother went to. Her mother passed away when she was a child, and she doesn't really have a lot of memories of her mom, so she wants to have that for herself. And her boyfriend is also there, this guy that she's been in love with forever. They finally had a relationship. She gets there, and she discovers that the guy that she's been dating has a girlfriend. And this whole drama ensues of this love square. There's only one season, and the whole plot is a mess, and the characters are a mess. The love square is a mess. There's this semi-sapphic romance, sort of kind of yearning plot line, and all of the characters are just so ridiculous and over the top, and the plots, I don't know how to explain it. It's every amazing Wattpad story you've ever wanted to read. That's the show. It's so much fun, and I loved every second of it. I don't know if I'll watch the second season. I wasn't too intrigued with where the story is going to go, but I might if it catches me on a good day and I just need something fun. High school drama between a bunch of people that don't know what they want, and the main character just has all of these guys fawning over her, and it's super fun. Really enjoyed it. I would recommend if you are just feeling down one day and just need to smile. So then from that mess, I went into arguably the messiest show that I have ever seen in my life. that honestly revived me and killed me all in one go, and that is Emily in Paris. I watched all 4 seasons in, I think, 2 days. This is basically about Emily, who works for a marketing company. Her marketing company purchases a smaller marketing company in France, and she gets sent to live there and work for this company and help them out. Immediately gets into boy drama. She has, like, flirting banter with this guy who has a girlfriend. He lives in her building. Every single guy that comes across her is, like, so into her. She has like 3 or 4 different love interests in the span of the 4 seasons, but there's one guy that is very clearly the end game, and there's just so much like other women drama, like pregnancy, and just a mess. Like, she goes to Paris, she moves there, she lives there, she doesn't speak a lick of French, and she gets there and she just, like, is expecting everybody to understand her and, like, agree with her. And she railroads everybody in this marketing agency, and, like, nobody's really a big fan of her. And it's full of, like, French stereotypes of them being... It's something else. It's truly something else. The drama is wild. Like, it gave me a headache, made me want to throw up, but also I could not stop watching it. Emily is one of the most frustrating characters that I've ever read. She's honestly insufferable. She's honestly hard to watch because she has no self-awareness. She thinks that she's always the smartest, most right person in the room, and everybody just fawns all over her, and she's honestly terrible. If I knew Emily in real life, she's like a person that I would avoid with every fiber of my being, because she's kind of just the worst ever. She makes the worst decisions. Every wrong decision you could possibly make, she makes, and she just has the most gorgeous, fine-ass men just in love with her the second they see her, and it's truly something else. It's like an escapist dream. If you just want to, like, turn your brain off and mindlessly watch some television with some drama, I would recommend this one as well. This is, like, even more ridiculous than Exo Kitty. Next up, I watched A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I am obsessed with this book series. I loved it so much. I read all of them via audiobook. The audiobooks are incredible. I gave every single book in the series 5 stars, I think. Maybe one of them got 4 stars, but overall the series is fantastic. And they made a TV show on Netflix about it. I was pretty excited for. Pippa, she lives in a small town, and 5 years ago, a girl went missing. They never found her body. They presumed her dead. And they also presumed, due to good old racism, that it was her boyfriend. He was found dead in the forest in the town, and there was a suicide note, and they assumed that he was guilty and committed suicide because of whatever. Pippa doesn't believe that this is true. Part of her final assignment for her school is to submit this, like, big project. Her big project is finding out the truth of the murder and what really happened, and finding this girl's body and all that. And she teams up with the brother of the boyfriend. There's a couple of components in the books that I think really, really help the story along that they did not include in the show. And I'm going to try not to compare them too much, but the crux of the issue that I have with the show is that there's a lot of elements to the story that don't work. And I think one of the elements in the book series that makes all of this make sense is that Pippa is very determined to find the truth and get justice, no matter the cost. And that is a large issue that I had with Pippa's character in the TV show. We find out that Pippa is doing this project for seemingly no reason. She just becomes obsessed with the idea of solving this murder without the setup of this project or her previously being fascinated with murder mystery and all of those sorts of things. So we don't really have any backstory into why she's doing this, and she just starts making, like, this murder board on her wall within the first, like, 10 minutes, and it doesn't really make much sense. Each episode is an hour long, and there's 6 episodes, and so it wraps up pretty quickly. And there really isn't a ton of investigation on Pippa's part. She asks a couple of people questions, and they just happen to, like, give her the answers for no reason. And the big murder mystery itself, like the big mystery itself, is solved through a phone call, which is just very frustrating because it's like the antithesis of Pippa's character as a whole, and it also just doesn't make, again, a ton of sense narratively. And so this show was very frustrating for me, and I wasn't as interested in it because, like, I love a good mystery. I love a good investigation, finding clues and interrogating people and seeing it all come together. But the fascinating part of this story for me is Pippa herself. She's such an interesting character, and the effects of her always trying to find the truth at any cost weighs on her. And I think that that is such an interesting arc for the character to go through, and I just don't see an arc for this character based on what we saw in the first season. So I'm very disappointed in it. I gave the show as a whole 2 stars, whereas with Emily in Paris, I would give it like a 3-star. Kitty XO, or XO Kitty, I would give like 3 stars. Something to grab onto, and I just didn't really feel like the show did. There wasn't anything about the narrative that I was interested in, aside from the fact that I had read the books, and I was interested to see how they showed it in the show. So I would say if you haven't read the books already and you're interested in the story, I would just read the books, specifically the audiobooks, and just skip the TV show. I definitely won't be watching season 2. I do feel like every character in the show is done a little bit dirty, and I don't feel like the execution was good. I guess we can talk about what I'm currently watching. I have talked in some other videos about watching the new season of The Challenge. I recently discovered the show. My partner and I started watching it last year, and it was amazing. Such a good show. It's like a reality competition show. The 40th season is going on right now, and we're on the finale. This season brought a bunch of players that had previously played like iconic characters back, and they were all battling it out. We are now at the finale where we have 4 men and 4 women that are competing for money. And this season has been incredible so far. Some of my favorite people have been in this season, and it's been so fun to watch. The challenges have been very interesting. However, I'm not loving the finale, and I do want to talk about spoilers, so I'm going to put a spoiler card. And if you're interested in watching this season, I would skip until spoiler is no longer on the screen so that you don't get spoiled. We're going into part 2 of the finale where the winner is going to be announced. We just got part 1. I'm not thrilled with the way that this is going down. My partner and I always do predictions of who is going to go home, who's going to win, all that kind of stuff. And it's just so glaringly obvious that it's going to be Jordan, which I don't mind. I like Jordan. He's a really, really good competitor. I think he's one of the best to ever play the game. Stats-wise, he's one of the best to ever play the game, so I don't mind, and I do think that, like, he trains for it, he's good at it, all of that kind of stuff. But it's so obvious that the challenge is, like, built for him, and I just don't see how any other competitor could win. I don't see how any other competitor could stand a chance. And the challenge itself, the finale itself, is like so fucking hard. I think it's one of the hardest that we've seen just because of what is going on. Like, it's a swimming challenge, and swimming is very, very hard. I love swimming, but I would rather run for 7 miles than swim. Like, swimming is, not only is it terrifying because you could drown and die, like, obviously they're not going to on the show, but you have to push yourself. Like, you have to push yourself very hard because you're racing in the water for a competition to win money. So not only are you just, like, doggy paddling against a current in the ocean, you're also, like, trying to swim as hard as you can and also get through all the other challenges. So it's, in my opinion, one of the hardest that we've seen, and it's so obvious that Jordan is just dominating, and it's kind of boring. And I don't know, like, usually I don't really care so much about who wins it for the men. Like, I'm definitely just watching it for the women, to be honest. But I'm kind of, like, it's kind of sucky. And I say that as someone who, again, like Jordan, I didn't really want him to win. I definitely want Kylan to win. But, yeah, I'm not loving the finale. We'll see how it goes. It could change, but I just don't see that happening because he has dominated every single challenge, like, by so much. There's no way that anybody could beat him out. And like, everything is timed, and so day 2 there could be someone that beats him in day 2 depending on what the challenges are, but day 1, like, there's no competition. So he has to fail epically on day 2 for it to matter. So, not loving it. I also don't really care which of the women win. I think all of them deserve to win. So I'm not like rooting for one in particular. So yeah. And then we also started watching Deal or No Deal Island yesterday. We're only 1 episode in, so I can't speak to like how good it is. But it's basically Deal or No Deal, but you put people on an island and they have to like do challenges for it, and then they do like the typical Deal or No Deal stuff at the end. Again, we only watched 1 episode, but it's pretty interesting to watch. I loved watching Deal or No Deal when I was a kid. I watched it so much, even though I did not understand it at all. But this version of it is super fun. The challenges like seem like they're pretty intense. The first one, they had to like crawl through a mud, like a marsh, to get cases, and there's a lot of like politically interesting stuff. This has Rob. The first season has Rob from Survivor on it. And like the second season I think is coming out or is about to come out. So I like these types of competitions a whole lot. And I'm interested to see how I feel about the first season. I'll keep you guys updated on that. But that's it as far as what I have watched recently. Like I said, I've been really on a TV show kick, which I'm a big fan of. It's a good way to like reset, because I don't tend to watch TV shows. I'm not a big TV show watcher. I much prefer other hobbies like books, games, stuff like that. And so when I sit down and I watch a TV show, especially something like Emily in Paris, where I can just shut my brain off, it's a really good reset. And I think it's a lot of the reason that I'm even able to like sit here and film, because I was in such a place that I like had no creative juice. I didn't want to be on camera or anything like that. And so I think sitting down and just doing something that I never do and indulging in that way was just super helpful for me. And I'm really happy that I did it. So, very happy that I'm back into filming. Very happy that it's a new year. I'm excited to see what comes up, what TV shows and movies I watch, and we'll certainly talk about them along the way. That being said, I would love to talk down below if you've watched anything that I talked about in this video, or if you're interested in any of them. I would recommend some of them, but I would just love to talk. Also, all of my social medias are going to be linked down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you're interested in more content like this. I do tons of different things. Consider checking out my backlist to kind of see what the vibe of the channel is. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in my next one.